So thank you all for coming out tonight. It's been a long time coming. A long time coming. But before I get into those details, we've got Mayor Powell here to say a couple of quick words, and then I'll bore you for a couple minutes, and then we'll get rolling.
Well, thank you everyone for coming out tonight. And I think first of all, the Park Board has done surveys for years, and the thing that's always been at the top of the surveys was that everyone wanted a splash park. And as you all know, splash parks are very expensive. So first of all, I think we owe a big thank you to Nate for writing that grant that helped us get this. And then to the Park Foundation for all of those wonderful piccadillies that raised the rest of the money. And we can't forget the capital improvements threw a little bit in too. So this has been quite a city-wide endeavor to get to this splash park. And so we want to thank everyone that has worked so hard to do it and has been so patient through all of our COVID delays and everything that we've had to go through in order to get this open. But it's going to be worth it. So thank you everyone, and thank you Nate.
So conversations for this splash pad, I think, started before I started 5.5 years ago. That was in conversation of wanting to get some facility, some splash park facility, and then several locations came to mind, fizzled away, came to mind, fizzled away. Then we were like, well, Rainbow Swim Club has the pool up there. Let's see if we can renovate it and utilize it again, bring new life to it. So we've met an aquatic engineer up here. I don't know if Lamper and Yearson's here tonight. They evaluated it to get to running as a swim pool again. And he said, my advice, run away really fast. I said, well, that doesn't really help us out very much. We want an outdoor water feature in town. And we've got springs in our name and we have nothing of water, right? We have the indoor pool at the community center, but I mean, how can you get the nice summer tan inside? Which is gonna be coming by 2023. But this site came back around and I was like, well, what if we just fill it in with a bunch of rock, a bunch of sand, and put a splash pad on top? Is that possible? Is that something that people do? They're like, well, yeah, we can do that. We've done that in a few places. So here we are. If you remember, there was a dive well, 11-foot deep pool over here, 2 diving boards. It came out, it L'd, went down, and your lap lanes were back behind me where the splash pad features were. So now where the 11-foot deep water was is a 4,000-gallon holding tank of water. So there's still water there, it's just a little different. You don't want to swim in it. It's claustrophobic probably. And then back behind you was the kiddie pool that actually pumped water above ground across the fence line and then into the pool. So looks a little different now, significantly different now. First group that I'd like to have join me up here is the Parks and Rec Foundation. Anybody from the Parks and Rec Foundation? So this group has raised nearly $100,000 from hosting Piccadilly galas that probably a lot of you ladies have been to, or husbands, a lot of your spouses have spent a lot of money at, and here's the product. They were hosting Piccadillys and working hard on a splash park before we even had a site. I mean, they were just, we know we're gonna get one, we're gonna raise money, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, and they did it. So that $100,000 helped towards our match, towards the Land and Water Conservation Fund, which I'll get to in a second. Next group I want up here is any Parks and Rec board members. So they meet on a monthly basis and they approve the bills that I'm spending on this facility. And they got together with the foundation during the planning process and picked out their wish list of what they wanted to see, and then we compared those items with what some of you might have had students in Misty Smith's class that wrote letters to me a few years ago of what they wanted to see a splash park look like, what features they wanted to have. So the board has been vital in that. And then last but not least here, let's get the staff up here. Any Parks and Rec staff? Well, so we'll just embarrass Chad over there for a second since he didn't want to join us. Without Chad Clevenger, this probably would not be here. He was here on site every day. Probably 2,000 of the 5,000 staff hours that were put into this facility, internal staff hours, are his. So he led the team. Scott, Roger, Sharon. We had some that worked on Lane Arnold, Max Dickey worked out here a little bit, Jeff Anderson. And then we have Janet, who then takes all the timesheets and everything that they do, and she makes it nice and pretty and packs it up and gives it to me. As well as working with their bids and everything else. So I think Janet is hanging out over there. She didn't want to join us either. Then we get, I know Corey has taken some heat over the last couple months, but Corey's been the voice behind the phone, getting to let you know when it's going to open, you know, what it's going to entail, rentals, all of that information has been Corey on the phone. So and then we have our rainbow of part-time staff over here. They'll be the ones that'll be greeting you with a smile every day you bring your kids out here. So. Okay, then we also were able to utilize Eagle Scouts, and actually Mr. Clevenger over there was a big Eagle Scout project. Cleared out, if you remember, you couldn't walk along the back side of this fence. There was so much trees and brush. And his Eagle Scout project, they came out here and they cleared all of that out. And then there was another Eagle Scout group that planted all of the plants along the Sherry Lane up there. So great to have volunteers like that. I want to say we had over 100 volunteers between the two projects. So great to have them. Let's see, Land and Water Conservation. We have our rep here. She has put up with my venting, my frustrations, and my clueless attack at doing my first grant. Playscape Recreation. They installed the water play system, Kate and Jason Shepard. I see Jason. Kate, there you go. So they are responsible for what this looks like. They get to finish the pretty part. Fry and Associates did the furniture and the concrete ping pong table, the concrete cornhole. Pavement Management just finished up our asphalt last week, so that was, if you remember or if you called, we're waiting on the parking lot to get finished. We're waiting, and they squeezed us in and got it done for us. So we were grateful that they were able to squeeze us in. Sanson Electric and Ameren, they did all new electrical out here. For us, all the hookups, everything. Precision Painting and Epoxy, they took care of the restrooms, so if you haven't checked those out, check out the epoxy paint in the restrooms. If you remember what those used to look like, they were nasty. Hot pink walls. Didn't paint behind mirrors or toilets, so when we came and tore all those out, there was then like neon yellow, and it was nice. Sanson Electric and Ameren, they did all new electrical out here for us, all the hookups, everything. Ashlock Signs made all of our signage that we have, so I gave them a flash drive and said, hey, can you do these? And they were done quick. So Rainbow Splash Park will be a staffed splash park. A lot of you probably visit some splash parks that there's no staff there. It's just you show up and there's not a concession, there's not a restroom, maybe a porta-john, but who wants to use a porta-john, right? So we have nice ADA capable restroom facilities. So when everybody enters, they'll park in the parking lot. You'll walk around the new sidewalk that goes all the way around the facility, or you can walk down Rainbow Trail and come in from Rainbow Trail. and you'll go through the bathroom and you'll shower before you enter, and then when you leave, you'll leave and shower. And then everything is grade for the splash park, so anybody can access it. We have aquatic wheelchairs that you can kind of check out when you get here, so there will be a staff member running concessions, doing all the cleaning, everything like that at the park. They'll check out your cornhole or ping pong or whatever, but they'll also be able to check out an aquatic wheelchair for you. So it's amazing to have that capability. So with the construction, we had 380 yards of concrete poured out here. We had 1,550 tons of rock. So it takes a lot of rock to fill an 11-foot swimming pool. Just ask Chad Scott. 546 tons of asphalt. We had nearly 2,000 internal equipment hours, so equipment that we have within the city of Excelsior Springs to save us a lot of money on rentals. So almost 2,000 hours used on internal equipment. And then over 5,000 hours of internal staff hours. So for the small staff that we have, and I'm probably the best Parks and Rec maintenance division around. Yeah. So they did, if you would, I haven't figured it up exactly, but if you would have plugged that in, you're talking they saved us over $200,000 on this project instead of paying prevailing wage for somebody to come do a lot of the work that they did. So that's huge for us. So also we want to give a special shout out to Kenny Manley Home Team. He came to me with a dream of having ice cream at this event. He said, I'll pay for the first 50 kids to have free ice cream. And I said, Parks and Rec will match you. So when we're done with this, the first 100 children, 12 and under, get free ice cream at Tasty Unicorn over there. So, but thanks to Tasty Unicorn and Kenny Manley's dream of having ice cream. Okay, and then one last little piece from me. We need all of you and your help with keeping this park beautiful. We've spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money out here, and we need your help assisting us with keeping people accountable when they come. You've seen stories, around the area just recently of stuff. So we need your help out here, but we know that Excelsior Springs is not going to let us down there. And we're already kind of planning for the future. I was actually talking with Kate earlier. It's like, man, we should not have left this original slab of concrete here. We got this gap. It's like we should have busted it out, put turf, put another shade structure. So mine's already working for future stuff. She's like, maybe you could put some pavers and turf and do like a big chessboard or checkerboard or something out here. So the wheels are still turning. This park is definitely not done. We are also in discussions about the property next to us from First United Methodist Church to acquire that property and expand this park out. We know that it's going to be so busy that we're going to have to expand the parking lot as well, because you guys are going to rock this thing and it's going to be so busy. So we'll have plans to expand that out as well, and possibly a big rental pavilion and things of that nature. So with rentals, this park, so it will be open 7 days a week. Saturdays and Sundays, there's going to be a rental block from 5:30 to 7 and 7:30 to 9, and then Sundays 5:30 to 7 and 7:30 to 9. So the park will never be shut down by surprise for a rental. We have those designated times, so that way you guys are free to play Monday through Friday, and then most of the day Saturday and Sunday. But do keep checking our social media if we have to close for routine maintenance and things, of course. But so with that being said, let's cut this ribbon and get the kids playing, right? The kids ready to play? Yeah! All right, let's get the party going. Yeah!